you have to be realistic. To break into Formula One is really difficult. So the first piece of advice I give to any young person is get a good education, because you may well need it, and it's a good thing to have under your belt. I would not put all your eggs in one basket of becoming a Formula One driver. So number one is work hard at school, because even if you don't make a Formula One driver, there's lots of other jobs in motorsport that you could do, and you're going to need that education. Secondly, I would say just suck up as much advice as you can possibly get. A young driver can learn as much by sitting in the engineering briefings or debriefings as they can driving the car on the circuit. So actually sort of going through the data with the drivers that are driving the car, listening to what the engineers have to say, understanding how the car goes together, spending time at the factory, just learning as much as you possibly can, because frankly driving the car is just one part of the skills required. You need to be able to present yourself properly. You need to be able to stand up in front of people and give an eloquent speech. You have to be able to relate to sponsors and shake a lot of hands and do the commercial side of the business. So there's lots and lots of things that you can learn when you're not sitting behind the steering wheel. I think it's unlikely that Ferrari are going to leave the sport for really a couple of reasons. Number one is that their whole history is based around Formula One and car racing. They are, whether Mercedes and the others like it or not, they are the most important team in Formula One. They add more to the show, and as a result of that, they get more money. So they're very well funded. They get more money than any other team. So for them, it costs them less. And I think their brand is more reliant on it. So I think out of the car companies, probably they're the least likely to go. I think I have a number of favourite circuits. If you want a real purist Formula One circuit, it has to be Spa in Belgium. I mean, it's an immensely fast circuit through the Ardennes forest. The weather is usually not very kind. You really see Formula One drivers, at their best. They come down through a series of swooping curves down a very steep hill, and when you see that, even though you may have seen Formula One cars dozens of times before, it really, shows that the drivers earn their money, especially in bad weather conditions. So Spa in Belgium is very special for a Formula One fan. At the other end of the scale, ironically, Singapore, which is a circuit around the town centre there, is another one where you really get close to the Formula One cars. It's a night race, the cars are under the lights, so it looks very, very dramatic. And it's still quite fast, not as fast as somewhere like Spa, but they're very, very close to the barriers, and the drivers have to take a lot of risks. So Singapore, I think, is a great favourite. We're here at Fnatic, which is the biggest European esports team. We have 12 different teams playing games like League of Legends and Fortnite and FIFA football, and they're based around the world. And this is becoming the thing that 18 to 32-year-olds do. People are doing this, more and more. There are about 500 million people who play competitive esports on a frequent basis, and that's becoming a huge challenge to the traditional sports. And I'm not saying that traditional sports are going to disappear, but what I am saying is that the thing that younger people are doing is playing these type of games. So I think it's a tremendous challenge for traditional sports, and they really need to be clear that there's a new wave of sports coming along, whether it be drone racing, whether it be on computers or mobile phones, and that's what younger people do, and unless they respond to that, then they can be losing audience hand over fist.